Wait a second.
Episode 25. Who's the episode for? I don't know anyone named.
I don't really know any elite 25s. There's probably a running back somewhere.
Didn't Reggie wear it on the Saints? Or no?
I think you might be right.
Yeah, because he was 5 in college, and then I think when he got drafted to the New Orleans Saints, he wore number 25.
You're right. Now I'm a Reggie Bush hater a little bit.
Okay. Well,
nothing against him personally. It's just the whole USC thing annoyed me.
Well, he got it back.
He did. He deserved that.
The complete dominance, I guess.
Yeah, it was the dominance and the LA.
That makes sense.
And all that stuff. Pete Carroll still, to this day, annoys me a little bit.
In an NIL world, that dude would have been, him and Johnny would have made bank.
Seriously.
I mean, Johnny still made bank, but
he would have legally made bank.
Correct.
We watched the Johnny documentary, and turns out his family never had money.
Yeah,
they just made that up. They made that up to make it to where they're like, oh, that's how he got all this money because they comes from money. I thought that was funny.
His grandpa was kind of like funneling the money or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like what something a legend, like that, man. That a boy, Papaw.
Genius.
Doing it big.
Papa.
Hey, dude. Happy late Father's Day to you.
Thank you. This was my Sunday red, my Father's Day present.
Oh, nice. Was it
the golf hat? Oh, it's solid. Great. This is so comfy.
Yeah.
I tried to golf in it today, but I don't know what happened on 10 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it was packed.
Yeah.
So
that's random. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have tomorrow off for Juneteenth. Mm-hmm. Maybe they could make it a Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe they made it Tuesday or took 2 days off. Took 3 days off. No telling.
Make it a 6-day weekend. Why not?
We'll just take the whole week off. If it's Wednesday, we can't, do that in the middle of the week. So
can't justify it. I always heard the joke of a good boss will let you have a 3-day weekend, but a perfect boss will die like on a Wednesday afternoon. So that way you have a 4-day weekend.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna start using that one.
Guess we should tell somebody, but now.
Hey man.
At least the Mavs got one.
Yeah. I was thinking that. At the end of the day, the better team won.
Yeah.
Would you agree on that?
And 100%.
My takeaway, I thought about it the last 24 hours, and I didn't think we were going to make the playoffs. I told you I thought we may lose in the first round. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we made it to the finals is crazy. But it was a good run. We had a solid run.
It was. I was very disappointed in the games themselves. Like there was not one game that was super compelling.
Correct.
There was one of the games where the Mavs brought it to within 8 pretty late, and then they just got stomped. So maybe it was that game 2, I want to say. They kept it kind of close.
So game 1 was where we were getting beat really bad.
That was a curb stomping.
Got it to 8, and then they still got it to 8, but then we ended up losing again by 20. 2 and the game that Luka fouled out, which I guess was 3.
Yes.
Those were the most, those could have gone either way. And so when we were last night watching the first quarter, I was like, man, it really could be 2-2 right now.
I know.
But regardless, I think they were going to win it all. They're so good, man. Like, obviously. They lost, 3 games in the playoffs?
Yeah, and 2 of those were at home. They only lost 1 game on the road all playoffs. So, and it was, against the Mavs. So it just, dominance. Game 3 was the one for me that was the biggest gut shot because it was right there and we couldn't pull it off. Same thing game 2. But yeah, for me, man, 3 games for sure were just routes.
Yeah.
And so it made it a little anticlimactic. Climatic?
Yeah.
But Celtics definitely deserved it. It was a horrible matchup for the Mavs. I honestly think the Mavs would have beaten any other team in the Eastern Conference. But the fact that they could switch Brown and then Holiday and Tatum on Luka and Kyrie to not eliminate Luka. I mean, they did eliminate Kyrie, who had a horrible series, but to slow him down enough. It kind of reminded me of what Iguodala did to LeBron that first year, where he still got his, but he slowed him down enough. And then once he got rid of the ball, he wasn't getting it back. And that was the key, I think, is Luka would pass the ball, and then Luka's out of the possession.
Or it was really hard for him to get it back, right?
Exactly.
And yeah, Kyrie, man, like we got 2028 Kyrie in the finals, which I hate to say that. He had such good playoffs, but man, he was straining so hard for everything. And it was just a struggle, like the whole series, for him to get. What did he average? Probably 18 points. He had that one game where he scored like 36, but then he averaged 14 the first two, and then
he had 14 last night.
It's a lot to be it reminded me a lot of the Cavs versus the Warriors, because the Warriors were a complete team. And the Cavs, it was the same thing, but it was LeBron and Kyrie, the two-headed monster. It puts so much pressure on them every night to perform. That's not to jump into your next segment too early, but I think, like, what else do they need? They need a couple more. Like, we had Gafford, we had what's his name, PJ Washington, that were like the key role players that got added to the roster. I think we need like two more role players that have kind of special roles they play, whether it's a shooter, 3-and-D guys, I don't know, a couple guys like that.
Yeah, I think the key piece they were missing was someone like Tim Hardaway Jr. who could score. When Hardaway Jr. was scoring earlier in the season, that would have been a pretty key piece. PJ Washington had his moments, but just the lack of a third guy really killed him this series. They said, Luka, we'll slow you down, and Kyrie, they somehow shut him down. And then there was no one else really able, Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington were great against Oklahoma City, and who tried to kind of do the same thing, but, Luka was just better than the defenders they threw at him. So I really think what the Mavs need is a third scorer more than anything is that third scoring option, because it was brutal and slow.
Do you think is it too late to go after Clay?
I don't think they have the cap space. That's the killer part, is they're kind of stuck with their team. Like, I would personally, like, part of me, if I'm saying like what's my bold prediction for the offseason, it's somehow, some way LeBron ends up on the Mavs. That's my bold.
Man, there's murmurs out there, right? There's murmurs that the Mavs are gonna take Bronny early to try to get LeBron. I don't know. It could. I wouldn't say no. I would more. I figured Bronny would go to OKC or maybe Miami.
Really?
But it sounds like he only met with 2 or 3 teams, which I think are the Lakers, the Suns, and I don't know who else.
Suns.
Maybe it was the Mavs.
I hate to be a Suns fan right now. They are just stuck, and there's 5-6 teams ahead of them. So as far as the Mavs season's concerned, this is an A+++.
Yeah,
you totally reinvent the team after the trade deadline. You go from a 8, 9, 10. I mean, at one point you were saying they were going to miss the play-in.
Yeah.
And they were hovering in the 9 seed, and then they worked their way up to a 5 seed. It actually works. They get the right pieces that fit together. So I don't... Now would be a bad time to overreact if you're a Mavericks fan. Everyone's under contract except for Derek Jones Jr., so if you can re-sign him, great.
Yeah.
Maybe you can trade Josh Green or Tim Hardaway Jr. Like, those are the only two that really...
I don't like
Green's the only one with value. He's kind of hot and cold, but he's on a cheap deal. So, like, you could package those two for somebody. But, like, that's really... The Gafford Lively thing works.
Right.
PJ Washington works. Kyrie and Luka, we've seen it works. So, man, just roll it back and then compete for... Like, you got a chance for some home court next year with how well you were playing. Like, you should realistically go for a top 3 seed. If you're not at least a 3 seed, I'd be disappointed next season in the Mavericks.
I could see us back in the same spot next year. I think run it back. I think Luka, he's just going to get better and better, and he just needs fuel. He almost wants to create his own fuel. I think he might have liked losing his first finals better than winning it. just because he's so competitive. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to come back with a vengeance. And I was thinking this last night, though, what's crazy about him is he's so comfortable in the moment. It's probably the most comfortable I've ever seen anyone. Like, his play in a regular season game almost looks the same as it does in the finals.
Jeez.
Which was kind of it's an issue. It's a great thing. It's a pro when he's killing it and he's playing loose. It's a con when he's yelling at the ref and, not getting back on defense and fouling out. But
that's what he's got to change.
He's got to change a little bit, but man, he's the guy. He's for sure the man, and he'll get back there. He'll for sure get back.
I'll tell you what. So about the Celtics, this is saw a screenshot, a clipping this morning. I don't know why my words are so bad, but the 2016-2017 draft, it was like, man, both the Lakers and the what's their name? 76ers, they both choked hard because the Celtics had the number 3 pick overall both those years.
Yeah.
And they went Brown Tatum.
Right.
In 16-17. And
so those guys got skipped.
The 2016 draft, first pick, 76ers, Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Who choked, I was a big fan of his, but he definitely choked under the pressure. Second pick, Brandon Ingram, if you remember him.
For sure. I was big on Brandon Ingram. I liked that pick.
Then third pick for the Celtics, finals MVP, correctly, in Brown. Because I swear, if they gave it to Tatum, I think Tatum was stat padding that last game.
I think they were doing that on purpose, too, to try to get it to him, because he played a lot of minutes.
He did, and he played fine. And someone in our comments last week was like, I don't think people give Tatum enough credit. I think he's a great player. I just don't think he's Kobe. Like, he's not a killer, which is fine. Yeah, he's not Luka. Like, here's your S tier. He's just one step below. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's a
great teammate. Yeah, dude's a great teammate. Dude's a great player, great defender. I prefer Brown personally.
Here's my critique, which you've probably seen this going around, but why is he so cringe?
Dude, him, Cat, and Booker are all cut from the same cloth of remaking, trying too hard. They're online gamer type. I don't know what their deal is.
Just being young, and I don't know. It's like, wouldn't you want to just kind of organically have your moments, as opposed to I'm going to try to replicate Kevin Garnett yelling. I'm going to try to replicate Kobe's picture. He stole Kanye West's line. It's brother, just be yourself, man. That's what's attractive, is organically just saying what's on your, when Giannis won and he went and sat down by the people in the crowd and cried. I'm like, that's organic. That's him letting it flow out. Just let it be what it is, man. And create your own moments.
Yeah, he definitely did a best of yesterday. He did the Steph.
Maybe he just enjoys doing that. Maybe that's just his thing. He's like, I want to do this just to be kind of funny, or just because I want to enjoy it. But it's a little, when I saw did you see the Kevin Garnett one or whatever he said? He was like, we did it. I was like, oh my God.
I was waiting for him to scream, anything is possible.
Yeah. That was the actual one.
Or was it possible as nothing? I forget what it was.
Anything is possible. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Real quick. 2017 draft, Fultz, Ball, Tatum. Oops.
Fultz, Lonzo. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know Tatum pre-draft, but as soon as, I think the playoffs that year is when I think they played LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals when he was a rookie.
Yep.
Yeah. I was like, dog. And he dunked on LeBron and bowed up at him. I was like, all right, this kid's going to be good. So
here's their last, let's see here.
I still
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So 2017 lost in the conference finals. 2018 lost in the conference finals. 2019 lost to the second round of the Bucks. 2020 conference finals Heat. First round in 2021 to the Nets. And then 2022 NBA finals lost to the Warriors. Last year, conference finals to the Heat. And then this year, of course, won the NBA finals. So 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the last 5 years they've been in the conference finals, and 6 out of the last 8.
And bro, the roster's like stacked for the next 3 years. You got Tatum, who's fixing to get paid $300+ million. Jaylen Brown's locked in. I think KP is on. He's got like 3 years left, and then you got Holiday for the next 3 to 4 years, and then they're going to extend Derek White.
That's
and
great.
Then I think they got Pritchard locked in for like 4 years at $36 million last summer.
I kind of hate that guy, and I don't know why.
I kind of like him, and I hate him at the same time. It's the haircut. I'd wish my hair looked like that when I was a little younger. That he can rock the fade. But that's 6 guys right there, and then plug and play a couple guys like the Chiefs and the Patriots did, and they could win for the next 3 years.
Yeah, this is
they're going to be dominant.
Yeah, this is the team. I mean, that's what I was saying with the Mavs. Like, man, you got to take advantage of this time because it's not like teams are getting worse. And I mean, the fact that they traded Smart in the offseason and then replaced him with Holiday and like improved on that, because when they traded Smart, I was like, dang, that's a bad move. And then they get Holiday, I think the next day or something like that, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, because Smart was a part of the KP trade, I believe, and then Holiday came along next, and that's insane. Like their roster, I'm Brad Stevens, and dude, they got a great organization. Like Missoula came up through their coaching staff. They have a head coach as their general manager. Who's the guy who's like the VP of basketball operations? Isn't it Danny Ainge? I mean, he played in the league forever. And yeah, man, they're going to be.
He was the former. I think he's with someone else now, but yeah.
They'll make it out of the East for a while. And I wouldn't be shocked if it's Celtics Nuggets next year. The Nuggets make one more run, but their window may have closed already. You never know. So
that's the thing, man. The matchups, the Nuggets, I would say the Mavs would present a bad matchup for them, and the Wolves beat them. So I mean, like, there's 2 teams right there that are bad matchups for the Nuggies. And then you got, OKC who's can't rebound, but they've got a ton of cap space. So I'm sure they'll add somebody this offseason. They got $33 million in cap space with that roster, with the number 1 seed. So
if you had to pick right now, your early 2025, would you pick the Celtics repeat or would you take the field?
I think I would take a repeat at this point. They were so dominant all year. And yes, they played a soft playoff schedule, but you play who's in front of you. That's not their choice.
I think
you got the 1 seed, so you could play the 8 seed. But
their final record on the year with all games was like 81-20 or something like that.
Pretty dang good.
They only lost, I think, they lost 4 games at home in the regular season.
Yeah,
and 2 in the playoffs. 6 games out of 100. Like, insanity. That's crazy. That's a very small percentage.
They're pretty good. Pretty good little team there.
But wrapping up the NBA season, proud of the Mavs. I like what we did. Let's run it back. Let's get the boys going.
Trade for LeBron.
Trade for LeBron. Sign and trade, maybe.
I don't know how it works.
Or he signs on the veteran min if he really, really wants it, which he'll never do.
He does the mid-level exception.
Yes.
Can you imagine LeBron on the MLE? You're like,
depends on how bad he wants another chip and what he wants his legacy to look like at the end. I don't think he cares, but I could see him going back to Cleveland before he goes anywhere else besides LA. I think it's LA or Cleveland. So
in Cleveland. Cleveland. How was your weekend? Tell us about what you were up to.
Oh man, U.S. Open, brother. And by the way, great pick. Your pick 1.
Let's go.
Jambo. I'll say this. Let me get out the bad stuff first. it's kind of like going to Six Flags in some way. You like see it on the way there and you're like, man, this is going to be awesome. And then like halfway through the day, you're like, I'm dizzy. My feet are kind of tired. Like, where's the misters at? So that's kind of we probably we got there on Friday and flew in Thursday night, stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning, just hanging out, talking. And then we were like, hey, let's catch the first groups. So we were in an Uber, got to Pinehurst by 6 a.m.
Woo!
We stayed until 7 p.m. that night. We stayed until the last group was done. And it was exhausting. But Saturday we went out there and played around at a course called Pine Needles, which is like a sister course of Pinehurst. It was super cool. We did there was 18 groups that were playing. It was shotgun style. They do like an afternoon group and a morning group. And so you kind of feel like you have the course to yourself. But great setup. And then, of course, was there on Sunday. We stayed until the last, I think, DeChambeau, and then we're at like 17. And then we watched on the little TV right outside of the place. But Pinehurst is sandy, brother. There's sand everywhere. There's a lot of native grass.
Yeah.
But good experience. I mean, incredible. And then I was rooting for Bryson. Not at the beginning of the tournament, but as he was leading, I was like, man, I want him to win. Even though Rory was making the run on Sunday.
He was,
and the crowd was freaking pumped about Rory. But I was glad Bryson pulled it out. That was my take on it.
Now Bryson seemed like he was. Were you following Bryson? Like literally following him at one point?
So on Sunday, I think we saw him do 4 or 5 holes straight. Okay. And then it just gets so packed, and like the logistics of getting around, you have to pick a couple holes. You're like, hey, we're going to see him on 13, then we'll catch him again on 16.
Gotcha.
Like it's so hard to follow him around.
Because he was like interacting a lot with the crowd over the weekend. I don't know if you witnessed any of that.
Yeah, I saw some of that pretty close up. He just walking down the fairway, just talking to people, saying random stuff, whatever's on his mind.
I think he helped him relax a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. The thing where he like said, "Yeah, don't boo me if I don't drive this hole."
Yeah,
we didn't catch that, but like, I loved it. I think now, like, especially with him like having his YouTube page and like social media, like I think it's cool that the athletes are like a little closer to the fan, and him doing that. Yeah, I think it made him relax a little bit. I think if he would have got second, it wouldn't have looked as cool. But since he finished it off, it just, what a freaking up and down.
What a shot.
That was.
What a shot.
I loved it.
That's what you dream of.
Yeah. 55-yard sand shot.
Do you ever hold one out of the sand?
I don't think I've hold one out. I've had a couple. I have one really good out in my mind that I've done before, got within like a couple inches of the hole. But have you?
Never rolled it in. I've had, like I said, a couple that you're like, ugh. A little bit like.
You had that chip in that day we played.
Dude, that was the best shot of my life.
60, 70 yards out?
That was 90 yards with 20 mile an hour wind behind me. So I had to I shanked it to the left on the drive, whacked it as forward as far as I could. And I was like, okay, I'm 90. I was like, I did a 60 degree. Because I'm like, I normally hit this about 60 yards if I get under it, but the wind's so strong. And I did the calc, and I'm like, okay, I will do this. And I sky mauled it. And then I thought it rolled off the back. Like 2% of me was like, I think it's in. Don't, because you always 2%. It's like, that's not it. And then it was in. And then you were angry because you scuffed one.
Yeah, I think I had hit a bad shot. I had to I wasn't able to congratulate you until the next hole because I was kind of like, I was kind of pissed you made it. But I saw it when you hit the ball. I was like, he flushed that. It was like a perfect shot. And then I watched it hit the green. I was like, that's rolling straight at the hole. And I just kind of kept walking to my ball because I was like, hey, he's going to be probably within a couple feet. And then when you got up there, you were like, I think it's off the green. I was like, no, dude, you were right at it, man. So yeah, but I was happy for you later, just not in the moment.
It takes a minute. It takes a minute. Yeah.
It's like I was playing with my dad one time, and he had hit. I think he was beating me, and I got a birdie on the hole, and like I could feel it like it was like a gut punch to him because I think he made like a bogey on it, and I was like, "Yeah, I just birdied that," and he was like, "Great putt,
good shot, buddy."
Yeah, one of those things where you're like, I'll give him a little bit. And then later, kind of same deal. He came back around. He was like, man, that was crazy. You just got to like let it sink in. So we're extremely competitive.
1 minute.
We're competitive human beings.
1 minute.
Like, I'll take him here in a minute.
Congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
But
feel bad for Rory, man.
Yeah, I don't want to make it too much. Yeah, he did. He could have won. He definitely could have won. He didn't close it out, man. Especially on that last. I would be most upset about the putt on 18.
Dude, because that was a nasty putt.
Whoa! When he missed that, I was like, "That's tough." Because that still would have been a playoff. But you got to.
Who knows what happened though? Like, because Bryson was way off to the right, to the left. In the native grass, and then who knows how he would have played if Rory had parred the hole versus bogey. There's just so many.
Yeah, you just never know.
You never know.
But you gotta think as a competitor. When I will say this, when Rory like missed his putt, you could kind of hear the crowd like, ugh, like you could feel it a little bit. And you gotta know Bryson smells blood. He's like, oh, I got to get up and down here. I'm gonna win this thing. Going second is a little easy. Having the ability to win on a putt, I would rather have that than be getting chased and having to finish. I feel like that's almost more pressure.
Really? I kind of like chasing because it's like, I don't know.
I'm saying getting chased is more pressure.
Oh, getting chased. Okay, sorry, I heard that wrong. I was like, man, I'd rather be like one back, and I'm like, I'm coming for you. But
no, because if you're the chaser, you have to be aggressive. You're like, I have to be aggressive. If you're getting chased, it's almost harder to out aggress the aggressor. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because you're in your mind. Should I play it safe?
So hard. Like an NBA closeout game is so hard because you're like, you have to match their desperation almost.
Because it's. There's no question whether or not you're going for there's no question about laying up or going for it when you're down.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going for it. This is my shot. There's no second guessing in your backswing. There's no. Yeah. So, I see. Yeah. We agree on this one because I thought you said it the other way. And I'm like, nah, I like the fact that I'm hunting. The fact that I'm hunting is fun.
Yeah,
it's the tiger.
It's game on.
What's up?
Oh, speaking of game on.
Fellas?
How we doing, Gregory?
Welcome, Greg, from our analytics department.
Yep, I'm happy to be here, fellas. Thanks for having me,
dude. Nice camera.
Thank you. I'm coming to you live in beautiful 1080p with my little webcam.
Love it. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I spent all day. I work remotely, so I gotta let everyone know how beautiful the package is. All my remote coworkers.
Yeah, man.
Can't skimp on that.
And you got the gamer headphones.
He does. You know what? I think you're the light eyes with the dark eyebrows really brings out your face. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, they match my shirt too. Also, my shirt, I wore this shirt from our alien discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Dang, I should have done. I want Gray Fridays, but that's.
I also wore Gray Friday, but that's all.
Gray Fridays is a good call too.
This is our Gray Friday.
Gray.
We were wrapping up our segment on the U.S. Open. Did you watch it, Greg?
I watched the final. I watched Bryson win.
Nice.
Let's go. Watched Rory fall apart. But that was it. That's all I watched.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was pretty indifferent. I didn't really have a dog in that fight. Am I still allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Whatever metaphor is appropriate that won't get me canceled.
Mike Vick.
But
I think we've already been canceled on here twice, and they just.
Oh, come on! Well, hey, third time's a charm. Let's go.
Yeah, you just monitor the video a little more, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to argue with Google Analytics people.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So the what brought this up was I read this article this week about a who was it? So it's a Harvard social science researcher suggests and he believes that aliens have actually been living on Earth for a long time.
Yeah.
And this kind of got me thinking of, what are our theories? Because I just like throwing things to you, Greg, whenever it's something mildly intelligent. And, so first of all, like, what is your opinion on the extraterrestrial life? Do you think they exist? And if so, have they contacted us?
Sure. Before we get into that, should we do do all of our listeners have context about this this article you sent me, Ben? Do we want to do maybe like
throw that thing, throw it up there. Give the briefings. We don't have to read the whole thing, but
we don't have to read the whole thing. We can do the Cliff Notes version,
and we can throw up articles.
So we can do our reaction video, our live reaction.
100%.
Video.
Yeah, because I skimmed through it myself. There was a lot of reading there, and
y'all skimmed articles.
No, I read it
all. I was just sitting at Jimmy John's eating lunch. So
come on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Casey had other priorities, sitting at Jimmy John's eating lunch.
All right. So the main thesis of this article is this research paper, which is yet to be peer reviewed because we don't care about that anyway, suggests that life forms from other worlds could be living underground on the Earth or within the moon, and that the UFOs and other identified, big word, phenomena may be evidence of them getting around. So I think we all have seen the videos on YouTube and other platforms of pilots and such, and then there's like this saucer flying by them. There's several videos like this, or like the government one released with I think it was the fighter pilots, and they're chasing this square thing around, and it's going up, down, side, kind of playing with them. And so that's caused a lot of questions for many people about, what could this be? Could this be extraterrestrial life? Could it be a secret civilization on the Earth? Is it us from the future coming back to affect things? What is the other option? Or is it some sort of interdimensional being? And he is making the suggestion that it is alien life forms, but living underground on the Earth or within the moon.
Yeah. Yeah. One other important thing to point out, Ben, is that you did mention this research paper has yet to be peer reviewed. It's also been pulled from ResearchGate, where it was originally hosted. So you can't even access it anymore unless you use the Internet Archive.
Unimportant because this is speculation. This is pure speculation. I'd like to pre-say.
I would like to read the 4 theories of these researchers, if I
yes,
may.
Please.
They have 4 theories they discussed in their paper.
Number 1.
The first of which is called the human crypto-terrestrials theory. Talk about
Bitcoin
or $1 word.
They're miners.
Yeah, these are the aliens have come to use humans as Bitcoin mining machines. Now, this first theory, the human crypto-terrestrials theory, suggests that there may be an ancient human civilization much more technologically advanced than our own that has somehow survived in secret. Okay, the second theory is that there is a technically advanced non-human civilization that evolved on Earth in secret, created by an ape-like hominid or some, quote, unknown intelligent dinosaurs. All right, so first and second theory are pretty similar. One is essentially that there is an ancient secret human civilization that's much more technologically advanced. The second is similar, but it's non-human, potentially intelligent dinosaurs.
So this is lizard. Is this lizard people? This sounds like lizard people to me.
Yeah, this sounds like lizard people. I agree. Theory 2, I think we can summarize as lizard people. Okay. The third theory suggests this is maybe my favorite one. The third theory suggests that there are aliens or humans from the future that live on the Earth in secret. Oh, excuse me. That's not my favorite. My favorite is the fourth one. Okay, so the third mentioned this that there's time travel involved and that aliens or humans from the future are living on Earth, again, in secret. It should be emphasized, all of these involve secret modes of living. And the fourth, which is my favorite, suggests that there are, quote, magical crypto-terrestrials akin to, quote, earthbound angels, which the researchers compare to, quote, fairies, elves, and nymphs. So theory number 4 is my front runner. That's my favorite one by far. You throw in fairies, elves, and nymphs in a Harvard research paper, you have my attention. I mean,
man,
you can't. I'm going to read it. Let's just be honest. That being said, I did not actually read the research paper. I just read this Newsweek article.
Yeah, this Newsweek article is all I read too, because at that point I was like, I feel like this is when it starts with not peer reviewed, and I'm like, I got a bad feeling about the how good this research is, but I do like these theories quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm actually curious. I do want to kind of just briefly glance at the at the actual paper. I'm curious how. It just keeps going.
While you're doing that, can I give you the fifth one?
Yeah, let's give. All right, speculation time, Casey. Let's go.
Yeah, speculation. I think I've talked to you about this before. Do y'all remember this? After we had a couple Manhattans and we were sitting there before the comedy show, I think that we are the aliens. But hear me out. And I don't know how this works with everyone's worldview, but at some point in time, we discovered that the planet we were on was going to, explode or whatever. So we decided to go looking for more planets, kind of like what Elon's doing right now.
Gotcha.
We found Earth, and then we ran into all these, tragedies and crap over time. Dinosaurs, blah, 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 blah. Somehow we've survived. And we're actually just looking for our old selves. So when we say we're like looking for aliens, then Greg doesn't like it. Now, bear with me now. So we are searching for ourselves when we go looking for the aliens. Because we're like, did we leave anybody behind?
Oh. So like internally we're searching, like we have this longing. Is that kind of what you're saying?
It's built into the subconscious knowledge of being a human that we're searching for where did we come from?
Man.
Where did you go?
Where did you come from?
Maybe Ben likes it. With that being said, I think I like the future people theory the best.
Okay.
You find it most reasonable?
I think it's interesting. Yeah. Or the one that the smart, like the aliens are living among us, but then they're kind of like blending in somehow.
Okay.
That's my second favorite.
I think, the one I think I like the best is the secret ancient civilization, because I love like the ancient stories of Atlantis, stuff like that. I've always loved these myths of these great civilizations that disappear and what happened to it, kind of thing. So that's my personal favorite. I just believe that these are just like government projects that are just advanced, super advanced beyond what we know. That's like my realistic opinion. But I really like underwater advanced civilization. So Atlantis survived, right? And it was like, there was a lot of Greek wars. You had Alexander the Great come up. So they're kind of like, let's just stay down here for a little bit, play defensive. We're doing great. The whole ocean is ours if we want it. Like there were some submarines and some wars that happened and stuff like that. But, we're left alone. And they kind of just minded their own business. And now they're kind of poking a little in geopolitics. Must have had a new king or something like that. And yeah, that's kind of my thought.
So you think there's still a whole civilization that lives undersea right now?
That's what I want to say. Yeah, that's what my preference would be.
I mean, yeah, if you were a secret civilization, you wanted to hide somewhere on Earth, and the ocean would be the place to do it.
It's better down where it's wetter, under the sea.
Yeah, I mean, we know more about. I'm not sure how to follow that. I think I just need to let that marinate for a moment. It's hard to come in after Ben trumpets under the sea with his mouth. If you wanted to hide on Earth, the ocean would be the place to do it. Because we literally know more about our solar system than we do the ocean, just because the ocean is harder to explore than space, which is saying something.
That's such a weird thing, but yeah.
Let me try to make this about myself again. What'd y'all think about my theory that we are the aliens, or we're previous aliens?
Well, let me ask you this. Case, we wouldn't be aliens anymore then, right? Because like the word alien means someone that comes from somewhere else.
I guess that's true. That's what I'm saying.
So maybe even if we were originally the aliens, we wouldn't be aliens anymore.
We're just Lens now.
Lens.
We've become the natives.
We'll drop the A. Okay, I can deal with that.
Okay. So I think that theory is fun and interesting.
There we go.
And where did we come from? But like for real, like how far away and how long do you think in this theory How long have we been on Earth?
My theory, how long have we been on Earth? I'd have millions of years. I'm probably an old earther. That's the scary part, because when I was driving back home today, I started thinking about it. I was like, well, how long does that mean we've been here? And I didn't have an end to my theory. So
was this the plot to Prometheus? I feel like there's somewhere in there.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably make a movie out of it, but.
Interesting. Okay, so then now here is another speculation. So, what professional athletes do you think are aliens? Let's assume they're aliens from space and they are living among us. So now we're gonna do a couple rounds here of different people we think in the world who are aliens. So let's start with professional athletes. Casey, give me one professional athlete that you think is from outer space.
One of my athletes I said Michael Phelps.
Oh, that's a good one.
He would probably fit into your. I think he swims like a fish, right? So
he does.
Like, it's insane. He may fit into your Atlantis theory. Like he comes from that line, but somehow they popped up. You know, maybe his mom or great grandma kind of popped into the earth. Yeah. So I think for sure Michael Phelps. He looks like it too. He's got kind of his face is a little different.
I gotcha.
Yeah. What about you?
You doing Ben or Greg? I'm sorry.
Ben.
Okay, so one person who I think did not start as an alien, but got replaced by an alien was Tom Brady. Because look at his headshots through the years. So this one on the top left is actually Tom Brady. Okay, top left is actually Tom Brady.
We're doing
top
this.
Right is when they started they replaced him, but the skins just didn't. And then by the time bottom left comes in, you know, like it's totally different person. So they kind of got the dimple on the chin right, but then his skin tone is different and wrong. Yeah, so that's Tom Brady over the years, allegedly. But I'm saying after like Super Bowl number 2, because remember they won 3 out of 4, and then they didn't win for like 10 years. So that's the time the aliens replaced him. He actually like got staph infection on his knee and died. And that's when they went in and replaced him after he blew out his knee that one time or something like that. So this is my theory. Tom Brady, action. Because if you look at him, because look at those eyes, man. Look at these eyes. These are not human eyes. Look at that.
Changed. Yeah.
That.
Correct.
His teeth are different. Yeah. So that's my theory. Tom Brady was not an alien at the start, but he is one now.
What you got, Greg?
If we're going, I can't screen share because I didn't give the thing permission. But if we're going with replaced by aliens based on drastic sudden appearance changes, you have to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh,
the famous before and after. They call it plastic surgery, but
most attractive male
explanation:
I've ever seen.
Alien body replacement,
and the hair.
Yeah, he's quite the baller. Let's see if I can pull it up.
He's got that alien hair.
He does.
I can pull out the picture.
Daggone right, I can.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah, bring one.
That one right there. So there's
that's one of many. Yeah, one of many. Yeah, that dude got replaced by an alien for sure.
Much more tan alien over the years.
He didn't have.
I mean,
he didn't have a neck, and
that's for the alien.
They're taller.
Look at that Adam's apple. Yeah. It just you could eat. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but
you could eat an apple.
Yeah. Mine before you mentioned Tom Brady, Ben. I was gonna say it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Ooh,
that's a good one. Alien material. And now he's gone into this like philanthropic activist bent, and that's his way of he's come to love the humans that he's lived his whole life around, and now he's becoming a benevolent alien. But with skills like that,
hey, man, can't blame that. Okay, second one. This will be our last alien speculation. Then we're gonna, if you want to stay, Greg, we're gonna do a little history talk. Okay. And then we'll sign off after that. Celebrity who is an alien. I will go first on this one.
Cool. Take
and for me, one. It's Leonardo DiCaprio because he's never gotten old.
I said the exact same thing, but different reasons. You go first.
Wait, well, hold on. You guys prepared for this?
Not really.
I thought we were just spitballing. Casey's got notes.
We're just pure speculation.
All this is poetry. This is my list up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my theory on him is like he basically just looks like he's somewhere between the age of 20 and 27 his whole career. Like his face still looks young. They've added in facial hair and changed his hair over the years, but he's still basically the same. He's always dating 22-year-olds.
Correct.
So,
Leonardo DiCaprio was the second one I wrote down, and I put the only note I put was the smile. It's like his facial structure. It's like he's kind, I don't know what it is. It's something about his face. You're like, that thing is not a human. But can I throw one more in there?
Absolutely.
I guess you can call him a celebrity now. I put George Bush. I think he was supposedly there was multiple versions of him.
The
running
first one?
around out there. Yeah. No, the son.
W.
Yeah. So I think he could be in multiple places at the same time.
Oh.
And he had that alien tendency to like recreate himself. And the whole like accent and acting kind of a little dumb was like to throw the humans off.
Okay.
Just to be like, hey, let's, don't put too many flags out there.
Got to be. It's overcorrecting. It's overcorrecting.
Yeah,
a little too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Elon Musk for mine.
Oh yeah,
famous alien.
Yeah, he's got a weird accent. Don't tell me, he's South African. Like that's vague.
I feel like Elon Musk kind of fits into any of the four theories too. Whichever one ends up being correct, because clearly one of them has to be correct. I mean, how could researchers from the where was it? Harvard's Human Flourishing Program be wrong about aliens?
Seriously,
with
it's
those
Harvard.
kinds of credentials. The Human Flourishing Program; those are the top tier scientists. But
he's kind of got fish eyes too.
Yeah, but whether lizard people theory is correct, or crypto-terrestrial ancient civilization, or fairy nymphs, or future aliens, like I feel like any of those, you could be like Elon. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I could explain that.
And it's like, yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense.
What do you think about the angels one? There was one more below that talked about how they were the Nephilim of the Old Testament.
Oh, I didn't see any Old Testament references, but maybe I missed that one. But that was theory 4. Theory 4 was that they were earthbound angels, which they compared to fairies, elves, and nymphs.
Yeah,
which I said was my favorite.
I could see that being invisible.
The spiritual world, I feel like, is closer than we think.
Yeah, same. Still don't know how it works.
Yeah, no idea. It's kind of like how the internet works. I just have no idea. It does. It goes. That's all I know.
Right.
So to do a serious answer for just a second, I do think that there is life in the universe outside of Earth. I do not think that there is any extraterrestrial life on Earth right now, though. Mostly, I think my rationale for that is, I guess in our own history of planet Earth, at least, and human history in particular, anytime you've had a more well-adapted species, whether that's more intelligent or just more capable in whatever concept, they come in and just dominate the ecosystem. It's like humans have done this. Like we've completely dominated planet Earth to the detriment of most other animal species. But even among different human tribes, right? So you have the probably the most obvious example for us would be the European settlers coming to North America, and which obviously ended very badly for the people already living in North America. And that was an example of a technologically advanced or a superior civilization encountering another one. So just judging from actual examples in history, if that were to happen, I think we would, like, there's no way we wouldn't know about it. Like it would be obvious, probably obvious. to our detriment. I think it's extremely unlikely that. Well, like, so imagine what we would do if the human species encountered another alien civilization, right? So in all likelihood, there would probably be two responses, right? There would be the fear and danger response, and there would be the benevolence, let's share and communicate response. And those would probably both coexist in equal measure. It's extremely hard for me to imagine that we would encounter this other species and be like, okay, let's hide ourselves and like not do anything. So I guess maybe this is just like projecting, like anthropomorphizing, but it's hard for me to imagine another intelligent species doing that if they found us. So no, I don't. And then kind of what you said earlier, Ben, like all of these, the UAP or whatever, the unexplained anomalous phenomena, UFOs or whatever. Like, I think they even quoted another, a real scientist later in this Newsweek article, and they basically said like all these things are either just people thought they saw something they didn't, or they really did see something, but it's like it has a natural explanation, and we just maybe don't know what it is yet. An example they gave was like a long time ago, pilots would see these like weird phenomena above thunderstorms, above the clouds, and they were, they thought it was aliens or they were called crazy. But now, like, we know that there's like an actual explanation for that. This is like electricity things happening in the ionosphere. So it's stuff like that, right? Like there's an explanation for all this stuff. We just maybe don't know what it is yet. Anyway, that's my I'm done.
I like it.
Someone else go.
No, I'm kind of digesting everything you just said. So the gist of it was, you think they exist, they're just not here on Earth. Because we know it.
Yeah, I think there's I think it's called like Drake's theory or something. It's like kind of like the hand wavy math scientific equation that says
that way.
That part two, or
yeah, that Drake. Yeah,
Kendrick made the first one, but
he's an astronomer as his side hustle, actually. I could be misremembering the name, but it's kind of like a hand wavy mathematical formula that just says, given the size of the universe, like the statistical likelihood that we are the only life that exists in the entire universe is just so small that it's like almost absurd to believe that we are. But even if there is other life in the universe, it also could be true that the human species will go extinct before we ever encounter another intelligent life form, just because the universe is so large. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like it could be true, but we might never be able to prove it, and I don't know. So it kind of ends up just being a fun question to talk about with your friends more than a real scientific question, I think.
Yeah, I tend to think that if it was like if these were aliens, for example, or extraterrestrial life, I feel like we'd have already known by now. Like, I feel like there would have been more obvious things, because kind of like you said, like, what are they doing, a stealth mission a lot, and I feel like our surveillance is pretty good, and I don't know, there just seems to be, like you said, more natural explanations that if it was so advanced that they could visit us, they probably would have wiped us out already, kind of thought. If they're anything like us, like they got some threats, or they could be a potential threat in the future, or maybe would have established some sort of trading as well. One of the two. So I but that's also assuming that they're similar to us. But yeah. Huh. Nice to see you, Greg.
Yeah. Greg.
Yeah. I know this is a sports podcast. We're just going to pretend that last night didn't happen. Or did you guys already talk about it?
We already talked about it, and we wanted your voice on things of more importance other than us crying for an hour.
Yeah. That's fair. I would have been doing the same thing. So you don't need 3 grown men crying. No one needs that. No one needs that.
Unless it's Jordan. So.
I wonder where that guy is. All righty, you ready for some history?
Always.
Let's do it.
All right, so this is Last Week in History. So this is Greg, with a segment where I just pull random things I found interesting in the last week that happened in history. Very self-explanatory, actually. Last week, in the year 1812, guess what happened?
Oh, there was a war.
Very good. 1 point, Greg. The War of 1812 begins. And from what I remember on that one, we are now 2-0 against Great Britain. So, and undefeated in world wars. So, like, really, we're 4-0 in the wars that matter. The other ones are like non-conference games.
They did burn down the White House, though.
Yeah, they had a good run.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of it was a little bit of a W for them. Yeah,
it was a good little run they had ruling the world.
I could not even tell you I don't know anything about the War of 1812, other than that's when the Star Spangled Banner was written. They burned down the White House, and we fought Great Britain. I don't know why it happened. I don't know how long it happened. I don't know how it resolved itself. I'm a bad history student.
How long until the Star Spangled Banner is reinvented? Is it ever going to be reinvented or like remixed, or is it we stuck with it?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's
going to remix it.
It's all right.
Yeah, Drake's theory says that. I think it's a pretty good anthem, personally. So I don't see it going anywhere.
I like,
especially because they're going to keep playing
at the Canada better.
Whoa!
Personally. It's a very emotional song.
France is a pretty good one too. The Marseillaise. I'm pretty sure they talk about killing people in that one.
Wow. Yeah.
Pretty strong one.
I'm gonna fact check myself. Marseillaise.
I really enjoy the Russian anthem. I don't know what any of the words mean, but it's a powerful da 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 da. I'm like, man, that's a strong one. Strong anthem there.
Yeah.
You basically know about the War of 1812 about as much as I do. Just FYI.
Okay. You're right, Ben. It's funny, as soon as you started humming the Russian anthem, I just thought of The Hunt for Red October, which is a great movie, by the way. But yeah. I don't know. That was like what immediately jumped to my mind. You guys have seen that, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's been 20 minutes since I've seen that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so just to give you a little sampling from the French national anthem, just some of the words. Our day of glory has arrived against the bloody flag of tyranny. From your battalions, let us march so that their impure blood should water our fields.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty intense. Do you hear in the countryside the roar of those savage soldiers? They come right into our arms to cut the throats of our sons, our comrades.
Gosh.
Yeah, the French don't mess around, man.
That's I'm pretty
sure that song was written during the French Revolution, and it has just stuck around.
Huh. See, some things do need to stick around. Freedom fries. Freedom fries, first of all. In 1811, writer and abolitionist...
The War of 1811. I knew that one.
Ah, you're so close. Harriet Beecher Stowe was born.
Oh.
Uncle Tom's Cabin. One of the best books I ever read and or had read to me on audiobook.
I think I read it in high school, but...
Not to get too controversial, but I understand... Oof. I actually think Uncle Tom is a great character. Like, I find him fantastic and honorable and like this beautiful, faithful character. And so to be called an Uncle Tom, like it took a different turn because I guess they viewed him as like submissive or not standing up for himself as well as he ought to have. But I don't know. I just thought his character was so powerful and so good as a man of faith. And so that was that's one thing. I'm like, that's an interesting turn. Like I thought he would have been a different character having grown up hearing the phrase and then, then reading it. You're like, huh, interesting.
Right on, brother.
Yeah. So that's my controversy for the day. In 1903, Ford Motor Company was incorporated. Now, are you boys Ford guys or Chevy guys?
What's option
Ford guy
C?
Now I drive a Ford. But we only had 2 dealerships where I grew up, and we bought all the cars from the Ford dealership.
There you go. Yeah, we were definitely Ford trucks. Cars, we always went Toyota. Well, I went Nissan a lot.
Camry.
But yeah, the Ford truck way better than the Chevys. Not even close.
Yeah, I don't really have opinions on trucks. I guess if I had to go out, if like someone gave me the money and said go out and buy whatever truck you want, not being a truck guy, I would probably just go get the new electric F-150. So I guess in that sense, sure.
Ford Lightning. It's pretty sick.
But for any other car, I'm not buying a Ford or a Chevy. Because I mean, honestly, I guess they make good trucks. I mean, the F-150, I guess, is an objectively pretty good vehicle. But if you're not interested in a pickup, Ford and Chevy just aren't really good cars. Like, they're way better options.
And what's nice too is like people who are like made in America, like all the other companies now make their cars in America too. So like most of them are actually like in Georgia, which is weird, or Texas. So but yeah. Big fan of the Model T. Gotta say that.
Oh,
In 1960, Arnold Palmer wins the U.S. Open.
1960.
For like the first time, or just another win for him?
Who knows? I could have clicked on the link.
He
and
may have had a couple.
feel like he won a few, but mostly I was going to say, let's see here. I'll go ahead, Casey, while I look this up.
When did they name the drink after him?
That's what I was going to bring up of whether y'all like the drink or not.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the drink. Yeah. A good Sunjoy? Come on now.
Okay. The they renamed it the Sunjoy because it's
Chick-fil-A
trademarked.
I love a good Arnold Palmer, especially, sometimes if you go sweet tea with lemonade, it's a little too sweet, but
I agree.
Sometimes you need it.
Yeah, do lemonade with the unsweetened tea. The balance just right.
I think that's the natural.
That's the way to do it. Yeah, I disagree with people who do the sweet tea. No, thank you. Palmer had already won 2 Masters by that time, but it was just a little sports note, and I wanted to talk about the... have you ever had mixed alcohol with it?
I have actually just had one the other day for Father's Day. So just a couple days ago, I went to a driving range near my house with my father-in-law, and they served drinks there. And one of the drinks that I got was a spiked Arnold Palmer thing, and it was really good. It was like dangerously good.
What did they mix in with it?
Honestly, I don't know, and I'm not kicking myself now that I didn't check. It was in a can, so I just drank out of the can. I didn't actually look at it. If I had to guess, I would say like a splash of vodka, but I could be totally wrong about that.
I would guess vodka as well. I've had
I don't know what else would make sense, honestly.
Some kind of liqueur.
Twisted teas, but I don't think I've ever had an Arnold Palmer. I didn't even know they had one.
Like you can put vodka in anything.
Yeah, I mean, you could like make one yourself. I'm trying to think. It may taste good if you do like Bullet with it.
Well, there you go.
Maybe. I don't know though.
I don't know if the bourbon and the lemonade might not. The acidity might be wrong.
I did have at the tournament this weekend. I had a Dewar's lemon drop.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That was it's like a whatever. It tastes like, you remember the lemon drop, like the candy?
Yeah. I'll take you to the candy shop.
It's like you're eating a lemon drop, drinking scotch. So, yeah, there's options out there. For sure.
1965, very overrated. Bob Dylan records "Like a Rolling Stone."
Wow, Ben, the hot takes.
My dad loves Bob Dylan. I never got it because he sings like this. He does like this. How do you feel? And I'm just like, I don't get it, Dad. We keep listening to it. It's not getting better. I have a Justin Bieber theory of like everybody has like 2 songs that are good. So they're like, what about this song? I'm like, it's a good song. He has a couple good songs. Everyone has a couple good songs, give or take. But like, man, I just don't get it.
Twisted Fate. There's a fun question. Name an artist who you think does not have a single good song. Like if I was like, let me pick any song by artist X. And he's like, no, I literally can't pick a single song that I would enjoy.
Recent or old or
I don't know. Just whatever pops into your head.
Yeah.
It's like if you say Nickelback, I'm like Rockstar was a jam. And then like photograph. That's right.
Maybe like an R&B artist.
Will Smith. But I enjoy Jiggy with it. Hang on.
That's mine, Sweetie.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a hard question to ask. I think you're right, Ben. I think pretty much anyone, like, and like, unless you're even like a music snob, will be like, okay, yeah, they have at least one good song.
It's kind of catchy.
It's hard to think of an example. For me, it had to be like a whole genre, right? Like some kind of like heavy death metal thing.
Yeah, like Screamo.
Any song from that I would enjoy. But that's not like a specific artist. That's just like the genre I know is not really for me.
I want to find one.
But yeah, I don't know. That's hard. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Justin McCartney. That's what I had.
Didn't he have leaving, never coming back again? Cause shawty, I'm gonna find a new man. That might have been someone else, but in 1966, the Miranda rights were established.
You have the right to remain silent, baby.
Let's go. Is that your pickup line? Hey, girl.
Say, girl.
But really, I only wanted to bring that up to ask if you find the name Miranda hot or not.
That's a no for me because I associate Miranda. Wasn't that the little sister's name on the Drake and Josh show?
I'm not a fan of Drake and Josh. No, I don't know.
I knew a couple.
Is that just me? Is this a weird reference that no one else is gonna get?
This is a real thing though, because like we were going over baby names, and I had this name. Like I like the name Connor. Like I think it's cool. It's also like I know it's like the widest name possible. I get it.
Yeah.
He's like, and I was like, no. In third grade, this boy Connor, da 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 da, and he was a real jerk. And like in third grade, and it's ruined forever. So yeah, I get that. Yeah. It's like, hang on, I got this associated with this over here, and I can't do it.
Yeah,
it's not even that I like dislike that. So I just looked it up. That's the actress's name. Her name's Miranda. I don't know how I remembered that. It's not that I like dislike her or anything. It's just the name reminds me of like this little girl, even though we're like only a year apart in age, which just kind of freaked me out because in my memory she was really young. But like it's just like the name reminds me of this person, so it can't be like a hot name to me.
No.
It kind of makes me think of like this just like a dirty like little poor girl. Like I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's close to Matilda, and that's. But
I just think of like a redneck girl. Yeah. Is that what you're thinking? Like redneck, or what are you thinking? Are you thinking like? Because Matilda sounds like an Oliver Twist type thing.
Yeah, maybe like a British child in the streets.
Miranda.
That grows up to, no.
It's no for both of you.
Probably no for me, yeah. I'm going to go.
Okay. I was curious. It's a no for me. It's a very redneck girl name for me. And also Miranda Lambert's kind of psycho. Like, yeah.
I know that.
In my opinion. That's only my opinion.
Yeah.
And then last and not least, one of the greatest of all time, O.J. Simpson led the police on a low-speed chase.
Oof.
In 1994. Do y'all remember any of this? Are you too young?
Too young.
I mean, for sure.
I was 2 years old.
Young. Yeah.
Well, I was 5. It was the biggest thing. So, like, for context, this would be like, because one thing that I did a lot of, because this was a big moment in my childhood, because it was like the first thing of the world I remember. I have a lot of home memories, right? But this is the big first outside of home. Something I remember was the OJ chase and the OJ trial. So this would be like if Peyton Manning, universally loved, on Monday Night Football, gets accused of murdering his ex-wife. And then gets accused of like beating her and all this. Like people, like OJ was a star and people loved OJ, and he was on all these commercials. He was in all the Naked Gun movies. We watched Naked Gun the other day and there's OJ Simpson in it. And I'm like, all right, cool. Kind of awkward now, but all right. But like the people loved OJ, and he was all over the place. And then, his ex-wife gets murdered, and he leads him on a low-speed chase, and he's the main suspect. Yeah, it's just like it'd be like if Peyton Manning or someone like that did that, because like the popularity, the exposure, the celebrity involved with him was incredibly high at the time. I also remember my mom thought his son did it. My dad thought he did it, and they made a bet that I would get, if OJ was guilty, my dad would buy me a toy tank, and if OJ was found not guilty, I would get a goldfish from my mom. And I love my mom, and I don't hold much against her, but she never got me that goldfish.
Gosh!
So it's been 30 years, Mom. And I still remember. I'm like, and you're going to say, they're like 10 cents at the store. It's not the point. That's not the point.
No, that's not the point.
I get that.
Unlike a goldfish, Ben has a good memory, so he does not forget that.
I got a couple things like that. You never forget that little stuff. You're like,
it's core memory. You were 5, and you're like, I was promised a goldfish.
Yeah, what happened?
I'm a goldfish,
man. So you vividly remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen the videos over and over, of course, and then do documentaries and stuff, but I think my biggest thing like that was probably 9/11, maybe. Like watching TV and seeing, because I was in 3rd grade. I'm trying to think of anything before. Other than that, like NSYNC at Christmas time, and the Super Bowl. I think John Elway's last Super Bowl. That's like my core early TV memories. So, just to name a few.
Just to name a few. Well, for a fun story, if the 1970s Bills were terrible and they lost a game because a guy dropped a touchdown pass, the loss gets them the first pick, O.J. Simpson. He stays with Buffalo, meets his wife there, then eventually kills her, hires one of the Kardashians' fathers to become the lawyer, wins the case, making the Kardashians somewhat famous. Then, of course, Kim gets famous and the rest of them. And it's like, if this random dude, this random tight end had caught a touchdown pass in 1970, the whole world would be different.
That's great.
And that's episode 25.
And that's episode 25, baby.